Okay. Still showing. Hi, everyone. Hey, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up with the.
I can barely hear you.
Barely hear me? Okay, let me see if I can play with there. All right, thank you, Luis. Joel, Yesenia, how about you? Yep, okay. Great. Okay, everyone. Yeah, so you probably are getting that very message that the recording is beginning. I wanted to go through class this way first because each week, a part of you, a portion of you are going to be experiencing class in this way, okay? And there is this technology that I'm using. It's an OWL camera, and you'll notice that the screen is split in two. The top portion of the screen shows a 360-degree view of the whole room. And you'll notice that the screen kind of moves up and down. The camera is following me. So I'm not going to keep it in this format the whole time. By that, I mean, I'm not going to do a split screen the whole time, okay? So I want to take a walk through the room really quick. Let's see, how many do we have here? We've got 18. Yeah, we got just about everybody here. I'm going to do attendance today. We're going to do mostly some Q&A. I've got some exercises that I want to do, but today's really like a test day. You know, like we're testing out the equipment, we're testing out kind of the technology, logging into Zoom and everything. I do want to begin in just a little bit with some goal setting, and then we'll talk about the syllabus. After the syllabus, I'd like to introduce to you our embedded tutor, and we'll look at the hybrid survey. And then we can talk more about in-person meetings or answer any other questions before we close out, okay? So today should only be about 45 minutes to an hour, okay? And that really is my goal for most of these sessions in the first place. So even though the hybrid class allows for us to meet from 8 to 9:50, I don't plan to use all of that time. I'm going to try to keep it to half that time, okay? All right, so what do I want to do right now? Well, I think first I want to do attendance, but I think even before that, let me remove this 360 degrees setting. Okay, good. So now you've got a much more focused view on me. Let's see if the camera follows me up the way it should. Sometimes it takes a few seconds to do that. There we go. Okay. So what you see behind me is the whiteboard. Okay. What I'm hoping is that the camera will follow me to the end of the board. All right. So if you can see me at the other end of the board, I want you to give me a reaction of a thumbs up. Okay. So I'm going to start walking on over there now. Okay. So please, if you can see me now and you can hear me now, give me a thumbs up. All right, awesome, good, okay. So this is the main whiteboard that I will be using in our class. I'm going to try to write on it right now, see if that makes a difference. Okay, so I just wrote something on the board. If you can see it, I would like you to type it into the chat. Okay, Daira, thank you. But if you could please type in what you see, awesome. Okay, thank you, Iliana. I'm glad you can see it. Good, thank you, Joel. All right. Looks like I'm getting some thumbs up and people can see it. All right, I'm gonna go write something awesome. Good. All right, working. All right, that's the blue color, so blue seems to work. I'm gonna try purple. Okay. I'm gonna write at the other end of the board something as well. Let's see if you can see that too. Okay, so I used a purple marker. I wrote at the other end of the board. If you can see that, please write down one of the three things that I think you should be checking in the chat. The camera did not move. Okay, thank you, Yesenia. Couldn't see it. All right, good to know. Okay, let's try again. Okay, it's tracking me. There we go. Okay, what if I see the camera is moving a little bit. Can you see me pointing? Good, all right. Now, let's see, it follows. Good, it's following. All right. Now, can you see what I am pointing to? If you can, write down something that I'm pointing to. Can't read it. Okay, so there's another feature on this OWL device that allows me to do manual control. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to have it follow me. Okay. we go. All right, so there's the far end of the room. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, how about that? Can anyone see that? If you can, give me a thumbs up if you can read any of what's on the board there. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I can't see it from there either. Okay, so I'm going to write something in the middle of the board. Let's see if we have a different result. All right, I'm going to move this to the middle of the board. Can anyone read that? Yep, okay, if you can, then write down one of those things. Modules, good, thank you, Ryan. Yep, syllabus, announcements. All right, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to reset to autofocus. Okay, now it's back on me. Following me, okay. All right, so can you see it now with me standing next to it? I think that's probably okay. All right, awesome. Okay, so then I'm just going to stick to this half of the board whenever I'm writing. I think that probably makes the most sense. It doesn't seem like the camera from where I have it positioned is going to catch all of the board. I'd have to probably move the camera, but that's good enough for today. We can test it more another time. All right, so the first thing that I would like us to all do, I guess let's acquaint ourselves a little bit more with how I like to run. How I like to run Zoom. Okay, so a couple of things here. You should, when you log into Zoom, make sure that you are on mute. You know, ideally, I would love to see your faces. Okay, that would be great. So if you feel comfortable, please turn your camera on. It's a great opportunity for me to start to getting to know you a little bit better, and facial recognition helps a lot with that. So one, okay, I'm not going to make it a requirement, but ideally turn camera on. Okay, it is okay though if you don't feel comfortable doing that. Make sure that you are on mute unless you want to pop in to ask a question. That's totally fine. Let's say that I'm lecturing about something, or maybe a classmate has their turn, they're talking and they're asking questions. Feel free to put your question in the chat, okay? All right, now the verb that I use there, park, is important because I call the chat a parking lot sometimes, okay? It's just where certain ideas or questions can sit. I will do my best to try to balance the questions that I'm getting from students in class and the observations they're sharing in class with those that I see in the chat. So feel free though, if you don't want to interrupt, just to put your idea there in the chat. I'll make sure to review it, and I'll just get better at this as things go along. Okay, Let's see. So that's just a little bit about how we should proceed. I will make sure to let you know which group, which half of the class is coming next week, okay? But basically, I've broken you up into two groups, okay? One is, and the group names are based on the characters from the stories we're going to be reading. So we have two groups. One is Esperanza, okay? And that is the main character from The House on Mango Street. I do encourage you to start reading that. I know that you don't have books right now, but you will be receiving those books from either Rosa or Natasha in your Friday counseling class, okay? I will, in the meantime though, send you a link to the book. There is a online copy that I found. It's probably pirated, but I know that it is the same as the hard copy that you're gonna get on Friday, okay? So either way, one group is going to be named Esperanza and the other group is going to be named Gualinto. Gualinto is the main character from this book. This is called George Washington Gomez. We won't start reading this book until later in the semester, okay? So we'll learn more about him at that time. And this is the other book that you're going to be getting called The House on Mango Street, written by Sandra Cisneros. Okay, pretty famous book. George Washington Gomez is a lesser known book, but still a very, very important one. Okay, so we'll talk before we leave class today about who's coming in next week, whether it's Group Esperanza or Group Gualinto, okay? If I don't get to that for some reason, someone please remind me. I would really appreciate it. We all work together here and help your teacher because there's a lot of things I'm trying to balance right now. Okay, so here's what I'd like to do first. I'd like to begin with a little writing exercise, okay? So I want us to think at the beginning of the semester about setting some goals, okay? We're gonna think about this and we'll return to this idea at different times. So the first thing though that I want you to think about with setting a goal, right? Normally we think about it like, as in what do we want, okay? And I think that's a great way to focus on that. Sometimes it can be a little difficult though, especially if we're unfamiliar with a subject, you know, when we say like, well, what do we want? So I want you to think about this in a slightly different way, okay? I encourage you now to do a little reflection, okay? We'll take a few minutes to sit and write. What I would like you to reflect on is what hurts about writing. Okay? I want you to think about things that you get stuck with, things that are maybe uncomfortable. And I want you to just start to make a list, okay? You know, I'd like you to have at least 3 things on that list, but you can keep going, okay? So does anyone have any questions about what they're going to be journaling about right now? Nope, nothing at the moment, okay? So what I would like you to do is to take about 5 minutes now and draft your reflection. As you're doing this, I want you to keep in mind that this reflection is very similar to the discussion board post that you will have, to the discussion board topic for this week that you'll be posting on, okay? Some of you may have taken a look at it, but if you haven't, this is kind of like, it's very much related to it. So this will help you complete an exercise that is required for you later in the week, okay? So let's go ahead, I'm gonna set the timer right now. Please begin your reflection on what it is that hurts about writing. It's up to you whether you want to make a list or a paragraph, whatever it is that helps you to write. You can write by hand, or you can type it out, whatever works for you. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Everyone, just a heads up, I am taking attendance right now while you guys are doing the reflection. Okay, so if I call your name, please unmute yourself and just say here or present. Okay, Luis Baez.
Here.
Great, thank you. Ryan Campos.
Here.
So, Emily Diaz.
Here.
Kimani. Kimani Fido. Okay. Brandon Gallegos.
Here.
Pedro Garcia.
Here.
Awesome, thank you. Alejandro? Alejandro? Okay. Angel?
Here.
Thank you. Jasmine?
Here.
Okay. Christopher?
Here.
Angeli?
Here.
Okay. Oops. Okay, so that signals the end of the reflection. You can continue writing if you're on a good run. I'm going to finish with attendance. Is it Daira or Daira?
I'm here. It's Daira.
Daira. Okay, thank you. Okay, Richard.
Here.
Thank you. Stephanie.
Here.
Good. Gladys.
Here.
Great, thank you. Yesenia.
Here.
Good. Joel. Joel.
Here.
Great, thank you. Melissa.
Here.
Awesome. And Consuelo.
Here.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. All right. So thank you very much for bearing with me through that. If you go by a different name that you would prefer that I use, please let me know. If there's another name that you would prefer, please let me know. If it feels kind of awkward to do it now, that's fine. You can just tell me later. Of course, you can tell me when I see you in person, either next week or the week after that. Let's see here. Okay, so what I'm curious about to hear are what are some things that you all wrote about? What are some things that hurt when we're writing? If you could just pop in and share that with me. Just one thing is fine.
I would say my vocabulary. Sometimes I use the incorrect ones.
Okay, so vocab is something that you would like to work on, and it's like make sure to choose the right word. And
Yes.
and feeling confident with your word choice too. Okay, raise your hand if vocab is something that matters a lot to you. Melissa, thank you. Gladys, I see you too. Emily, Daira, Christopher. Yeah, okay. Good. All right. So I will make sure to make that a priority. Okay. I think that sometimes students feel like they have to use fancy words when they're writing. Sometimes I feel like there's maybe this strategy where students like run to a thesaurus and they try to find another word that fits in there. We'll talk about other strategies, but rather than using a fancy word, what I would rather that you focus on is using a technical word, right? A word that's appropriate to the specifics of what we're talking about, right? So in this other English class that I teach, an example of this would be the word food desert, right? Food desert in a technical sense is a location, often an urban place, a place in the city, where people who live there are low income and do not have access to healthy, nutritious foods, okay? That's not necessarily a fancy word, food, and neither is desert, right? Together though, they give you a very precise picture, a socioeconomic picture of the conditions of nutrition. So when students are writing about food deserts, right, I have a very clear sense of what they're talking about. So as we're writing and as we're learning more, let's focus when we're thinking about word choice on being accurate more than fancy, okay? The more accurate you can be, the more technical we can be, the better, okay? But that takes practice. Stephanie, thank you for stepping up and sharing with us the first writing concern, the thing that kind of hurts. All right, what's another one that hurts? So vocab hurts, what else?
Trying to write essays, I always get so confused.
You get
Like,
confused?
Yeah.
Who do I have the privilege of speaking to? It's not popping up here. Is it Angel?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Angel. So you said getting confused. Is it like the directions that you're getting are confusing at times?
No, like me trying to write an essay, I've never been good at it. That's why I want to try to get better at it.
Okay. All right. Sometimes I know that getting started can going. I get some students that get confused at the beginning, but how many of you get confused like in the middle, like you're already writing and then you just kind of are like, wait, yeah, Iliana, me too. Yeah, it's like, what was my train of thought, right? You just got derailed and you've been working on this thing for probably a few hours, yeah? Right. So yeah, confusion can pop up at different times. So that would be worth kind of exploring a little more, like what causes confusion for us when we're writing, whether it's at the beginning, like with what's the professor asking for, or maybe in the middle, like what was I saying or why am I saying this? Okay, that's a really, really good one. So confusion. Okay, well, I can imagine it's going to be different for each person. So here's what I can say, and what I promise you is that I want you to feel comfortable telling me that you are confused. Okay, if you are confused by what the prompt is asking for, okay, I'll do my best to explain it in a different way. If you're confused about what your argument is, what it was, where it's going to be, you know, great, let me know, okay, and I can help you out with that too. Iliana is also going to be a resource for us. Iliana, could you wave to everyone? I think the camera picks up motion there. Iliana will introduce herself in a little bit, but she is our embedded tutor. Daira, I see that you put in punctuation in the chat. Thank you for saying that one. Is there any particular punctuation that is just a pain in the butt? It just is really troubling, like what is that, or why do, or yeah, how do I use it? The semicolon. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so for all of you who are maybe unfamiliar with it, let me see if I can type it in. I don't know why my chat's not working. There is the semicolon. I typed it into the chat. It's the dot with the comma looking thing right underneath it, okay? We will use semicolons sometimes in this class, mostly to help us fix run-on sentences, okay? Sometimes the simplest fix for a run-on is just slapping a semicolon there. However, you've got to know that a semicolon is used to separate two things that can stand alone, like their own separate sentences, okay? But we'll talk about that stuff later. So punctuation is an issue. Pedro's typing into the chat here when you have no idea what to write about. Yeah, writer's block. Okay. Okay, Emily is sharing another one here. Let's see, we got writer's block. We have, right, Emily, you're saying like you want to write with maybe style or present your ideas in a way that's interesting to your audience. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. You know, there are different ways that we can make our writing, I like the word you used, intriguing. Okay, so basically I see this as two ways that we're going to deal with this over the course of the semester. One, your writing style, right? How you put words together to form sentences, how you present your ideas. But I think an even more important one, okay, at least what I feel like is my responsibility to teach you here, is when you are making an argument that matters. Okay, that's what's really intriguing, is why does this matter? What is significant about this? Okay, and that's a really hard thing to do to start with. So we will return to the idea of writing and making your writing intriguing in a couple of different ways. It's why does this matter? Okay, how do we answer that question? How do we deal with that in our papers? And then the other is, how do you present your ideas in a way that's pleasing to your reader? Okay, so very, very good. All right, you guys are doing awesome here. Thank you for jumping into the chat. I'm going to back up a little bit. Okay, so Consuelo said, how to avoid getting sidetracked with the writing. Do you mean like you're doing the writing and then you get distracted by something else or you lose your train of thought? Consuelo?
I mean, like, start getting in depth into something that's not the topic at the moment.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so writing in a way maybe that's focused, right? So this would be the next step here in the plan, okay? So first part of this reflection should be make your list of what hurts, okay? And this might be a good time for us to transition to the next step. The second part would be to convert what hurts into a concrete goal, right? So Consuelo gave me something that hurts, which is getting sidetracked with writing. So then if I were to take that and turn that into a goal, right, I would say, okay, write in a more focused way, okay? So how do I make my writing more focused, okay? So take the negative and turn it into a positive action. That will be a goal that you're gonna work towards, okay? So I think given the things that I wanna do, I'm really having a great time talking with you all about this, but I've only got maybe 15 more minutes here that I'm willing to spend on this for today. So I would like you to take one or two of the things that hurt, and I want you to start to convert it into a concrete goal, okay? Let's practice using specific language, as specific as you can be, right? So to go back to the earlier one about punctuation, right? If punctuation hurts, then what's a goal of mine? I want to learn how to use a semicolon. I want to learn how to use a comma. Those are specific kinds of punctuation, right? So take what you have, what you've shared, or what you just have in your own book, and I want you to convert a couple of those now, okay? Turn them into concrete goals. Take a couple of minutes to do that. I'm going to review the chat to see what I missed. Alejandro, I saw that you came in a little bit later. I've marked you present. I took attendance. Yeah, good morning. I took attendance before you came in. So just want to let you know I'm marking you here.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, you can hear the timer. Let's go ahead and conclude that little writing exercise. Okay, so I do notice that a couple of people still have their hands up. Emily and Richard, did you want to ask or say something, or was that just up from the previous exercise?
I think it was from the previous.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
just for
great. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Just want to make sure we're all good. Okay, so if you can see the welcome page from our website, please give me a thumbs up. Awesome, Stephanie. Thank you. Anyone else? Can we see it? Good, good. Okay, all right, very good. So, like I said, this little reflection is going to help you to complete the, well, it's going to help you figure out what are your priorities, right? What are some areas of writing that you would like to improve on? And I would like you to share that using our discussion board, okay? So if you go from our homepage, and the homepage is going to change, by the way, each week. This is also called the welcome page. It's in the very first module. I'm going to go to the modules section in just a second. But basically, the homepage for each week will be like a to-do list for you. Okay, so each time you log in to Canvas and you select our course website, you will be able to see what you've got to get done for this week. And usually that's going to consist of discussion board, right? That's a way for me to monitor attendance and participation for the remote portion of the course. So one portion of the course is in-person meeting, hybrid, right? And we're going to do that. You will be doing that every other week. And then the other portion of the course will be online exercises. So let's look at this first welcome page here. You can see I suggest that you take care of a few things. Here's some bits about online learning, and here's the protocol for coming to campus, just in case you forget. I do recommend that you take this little tutorial of Canvas. I'm going to kind of provide a quick one here. But what I really want you all to make sure to do right here, settings, okay, for your notifications. I mentioned this during the Puente orientation. Please make sure that you are changing your notifications to receive announcements by email right away, okay? You don't want to get announcements that are coming to you at the end of the day or at the end of the week, okay? Like for instance, if I'm gonna be sick and I know the night before, I'll post an announcement, let you guys know I'm sick, we're not gonna have class in the morning. So I don't wanna waste your time and you don't wanna waste your time. So make sure that you are checking the announcements that they're coming in right away. Okay, the other thing that I put here on this first welcome page are 3 things you should be doing each week, okay? And I would say you're doing this multiple times a week. You check the syllabus to see what you need to read. You check the announcements for the plan for the week, and you go to the modules, all right? So I'm gonna go to the modules right now. And the very first module you'll see is the syllabus module, okay? So basically what I did was I took one syllabus, one document, and I broke it into different tabs, okay? So that way it makes it a little bit easier to understand. You're not looking at like a 6 or 7 page document. It's broken into chunks like this, okay? This is important because you all have to complete a syllabus quiz, which is in the very first, in the week 1 module titled Asserting Your Perspective. Now I noticed that we haven't had anyone complete the syllabus quiz yet. Okay, not a huge deal because this is our first meeting, okay, face to face. However, it needs to get done by Thursday of this week, and you'll see the date when it is due, August 19th, all right? It's written right there underneath the quiz, okay? So what I'd like you to do right now, everyone, I want you to go to your Canvas site and I want you to log into the syllabus quiz. And I want you to start looking at the questions. You don't have to answer the questions right now, but I want you to open it up and to see the questions. Okay, please go ahead and do that right now. Take about a minute to do that. Iliana, if you don't mind, I'll have you, do a quick introduction of yourself after we do this syllabus bit. Okay? And just like we talked about, mostly personal, no lecture. Okay, I see Jasmine's already logged into it before. Alyssa, very good. So this is the other thing I want you to all know. I can see who's logged in. I can see how many times that you've tried a quiz, and I can see how much time you've spent on it, okay? None of those things are things that really negatively impact your grade. It is useful for me though to know, are you making the attempt? And I can see if you're making an attempt or not because Canvas tracks it, okay? More importantly though, that's what I want. I want you to make multiple attempts, okay? Let's go back and look at the directions for this syllabus quiz. Yes, Alejandro, go for it.
I started the quiz on accident, Professor.
Okay, no worries. That's good. Start the quiz if you want to. Good. I'm seeing it's updating. Luis, Ryan, very good.
I didn't mean to though.
Well, that's okay. It's not going to negatively impact your grade in any way. I want you all to see what the quiz questions look like. Basically, what you have here, sorry, I should go back. Well, I'm on this page anyway, you can see. All right, so once you open a quiz, you'll see the directions at the top and then the questions right below it. This quiz is by the way, all of my quizzes are practice quizzes, okay? None of these quizzes are for real points that will impact your grade, okay? However, completing these quizzes demonstrates participation in the class. It lets me know that you are involved, that you are trying and showing up, and this matters because you want to stay enrolled in the class. If I don't see you completing practice quizzes and the discussion boards, that demonstrates less involvement. If you don't complete anything for 2 weeks, you'll get dropped from the class, okay? So make sure that you're trying out these practice quizzes. Oftentimes these practice quizzes are reflection questions like I just asked you at the beginning of our little session today. So really they're meant to help you get your ideas going with writing, okay? And you should always be able to return to these quizzes to either take them again, because like I said, they're practice, or if you wrote something really good and you want to use it for the paper, you go back to it again, copy and paste it, put it onto your Word doc as a way of drafting, okay? So there's a lot of good that can be used with these practice quizzes. This will never hurt your grade. It can only help, okay? All right, so here you go. For this quiz, you need to keep taking it until you ace it, okay? Until you get 100%. So you will be able to take this syllabus quiz multiple times. Please have that done by 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, okay? That's probably the most important thing for you to do first, okay? The second most important thing for you to do is the discussion board, okay? There are other things that, of course, I have posted in our module for this week. But the discussion board is the other thing where you demonstrate, like I said, your participation in the class. And usually I will put the discussion board at the bottom of the module, okay? And for this one, it's called Writing is a Pain, okay? And the prompt, which you'll see in a second here, is very similar to what I just shared with you, right? I want you to tell me what hurts about writing for you. And you've already started drafting that. So you're ahead of the game, okay? You're gonna always give me 3 posts for the week, okay? The first post is the original one. That's the one where you spend more time thinking about you. What do you have to say, right? The other two posts are posts that are shorter, and that's where you interact with your classmates, okay? So for this week, the real stuff you got to get done, syllabus quiz, discussion board, okay? Do those two things, all right? Super important, okay? The other things, they matter too, but as far as staying enrolled in this course goes, those two things matter the most, syllabus quiz and discussion board. All right, now, couple more things. Well, before I move on, did anyone have any questions about about what we're looking at right now? About the discussion boards or practice quizzes?
I do.
Yes, go for it.
Do we write for the same thing Friday and Saturday?
Well, no, you'll be responding. Thank you for asking that. You'll be responding to two different people. That's how it's going to work. So I've got you guys all in discussion board groups. You can see the one group is called Cycle A1 and the other group is called Cycle A2. Okay, so you'll be posting and only the members of your group will get to see your post. Okay, so basically I cut the class in half. You will then respond after you post on Thursday. And by the way, you guys can post anytime this week. So if it works better for you to post today, post your original post today, okay? You do not need to post all posts at the same time. In fact, it's better if you split it up, if you do it throughout the week, okay? No, ideally, you'll be responding to different people. You'll do one classmate on Friday, and you'll do another classmate on Saturday, okay? Because each of them will have different things to say, okay? Like for instance, maybe one classmate talked about punctuation. So you can then reply to that classmate, sharing your own struggle with punctuation. Another classmate talked about writer's block, right? So then that's your Saturday post. You share your own experience with writer's block, okay? Does that answer the question?
Oh, so we write our thoughts on Thursday and then we respond on Friday and Saturday?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right, where was I going to go with that? Any other questions about the discussion board or the syllabus quiz? No? Okay. So, yes.
One quick question. We can complete the discussion board before the deadline, right?
Ideally, yeah, you do complete
Okay,
it before the deadline. Yeah, I mean, if you do it on Thursday, there at like 11:55, you're still within the deadline. Okay, so you're okay. Yeah, please get it in on time. That works out better. All right.
Thank
Good.
you.
Okay. Yeah, sure. All right, so now back to the week 1 module. The other thing that I would like you to do, okay, because this is going to help us plan, is to take this hybrid learner survey. Basically, I'm just asking you questions about, well, about what you're experiencing this semester, you know? What kinds of devices do you have access to? Are you sharing them with anyone? Are you working part-time or full-time? Stuff like that, okay? They're pretty simple questions. The one, though, that I want to draw your attention to right now, and then I'm going to turn it over to our embedded tutor, is the very last one, because this question is about when would be a good time for you to meet with the embedded tutor, okay? You're not required to meet with the embedded tutor, at least not yet. Maybe I'll make it a requirement later in the semester, we'll see. But Iliana is going to introduce herself. She's a great resource. I've had a great experience working with her in the past. But these are all of the different hours that are available. Please, or that could be potentially available. Please check off the ones that you could attend, okay? Doing this doesn't mean you have to attend those times. We just want to know what's possible. This will help us set the tutoring schedule, okay? As tutoring is another resource that you get being a part of the Puente program. We have our own personal tutor. Any questions about this survey or about checking off the times that you could meet? No? Okay. So with that being said, we're done. Iliana, could you please go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Iliana, and I'm so excited to be working with you guys. I'm hoping that I can meet all of you personally this semester. So a little bit about me. I graduated from Downey High School in 2016. I don't know if anyone's from Downey. And then I came to Cerritos and I transferred to UCLA, and I just graduated from UCLA this year. And I just got my BA actually in the mail like yesterday. I got my degree in English. Fun fact,
English.
I was actually, yes.
I just
Oh,
said
thank you.
congratulations. That was me being awkward. That's all.
Oh, okay, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, so I went through the whole transfer process here. So please use me as a resource. I'm kind of familiar with, you know, the transfer process. It's a lot different than just going straight to university out of high school. Actually, Dr. Gardner helped me write my personal statements to get into UCLA, so thank you. But yes, I'm really hoping that you guys use me for any questions that you have about the transfer process.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Iliana. Yeah,
Thank you.
and you guys can help us figure out ways that Iliana can be more available by completing that survey, okay? So you can do that, ideally do that by Thursday, so that way we can work out her schedule Friday morning, all right? So please get that survey done. Even if you don't answer the other questions right now, answering that last question before Thursday, super important, so we can start setting up that schedule. Okay, so last thing I want to do before we leave is to show you the groups that you are in for coming to class. All right, let's go. So just as you have a group for discussion, you will be having a group for coming to class. So I described this earlier. I split you all up into 2 different groups. So this is what I would like you to do right now. I want you to write down the name of the group that you are in. I'm going to reveal Group Esperanza right now. Okay, and I'll call out your names. For Group Esperanza, this is Luis, Kimani, Pedro, Angel, Christopher, Angeli, Richard, Gladys, and Joel. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is if you heard your name, give me a thumbs up reaction. This is my way of cross-checking. Okay, Angeli, yes, you are in Esperanza. Okay. Richard, yes, you're in Esperanza, that's right. Gladys, did you give me a thumbs up? I didn't see. Yep, okay. And let's see, Joel, you as well? Yep, Pedro, I see. Okay. All right, I will make sure to post an announcement too, so that way we have this in writing as well. I'm just doing it synchronously right now. Any questions about Group Esperanza? Nothing at the moment. Okay, let me check the chat. Thank you. Sorry, guys, I'm still learning to check all of the systems here. Thank you, Gladys and Angel. Okay, all right, now for Group Gualinto. All right, Ryan, Emily, Brandon, Alejandro, Jasmine, Daira, Stephanie, Yesenia, Melissa, Consuelo. Okay. So we're going to have Esperanza is going to meet next week. Type that into
What's the name of the second group, Professor?
Gualinto, you can see it right in the center. It's I'll type it into the chat. That's the name of the character, the main character from George Washington Gomez. Okay, so Group Esperanza pretty much is going to meet even numbered weeks. So I expect to see everybody from Group Esperanza in class on Tuesdays on weeks 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. Okay.
So do we meet next week?
Yes, we will start doing in-person meetings, face-to-face. Esperanza will be the first group that will come in, okay? Group Gualinto, I will not see you in person next week. I won't see you in person until week 3. All right, I know this is new, probably confusing, so I will be sending multiple reminders and checks. And if you ever get confused about it, just email me, all right? If you want to double check, the night before, ideally the evening before, because once I start doing dinner with my kids, it's just a circus until they finally leave us alone and go to sleep. Ideally before, 5 o'clock. Let me know, but obviously you got to do what's best for you. So if you don't think about it until 8 o'clock at night, that's fine. Yeah, Stephanie, go ahead.
So for the other group that doesn't get to go for that week, do we connect on Zoom or how?
Yes, that's exactly right. So I will have lecture every week at this time. Half of you will come in. So next week, Esperanza will be in person. Group Gualinto will log in via Zoom. So Gualinto, you will all experience what you experienced today, right? And you know what to expect now, right? And I also know what to expect too. I know I can only really use half the whiteboard, all right? So expect lecture every week. One group is in person, the other group is online, okay? Again, I will keep it to an hour. I won't go more than that, at least not now, not until my kids are vaccinated, and we'll learn more and see what your comfort level all is too. Okay. From what I'm hearing, it's just important that we all are flexible. Okay. You all have experienced this in your own ways, but things change. Nothing is stable right now. So this is what we understand the plan to be at this point. And I hope it continues, because I've longed for face-to-face meetings like what I'm looking forward to next week. So Stephanie, great question. Thank you for that. Part of you will be in person. For next week, it'll be Esperanza. The other part will follow on Zoom lecture just like today. That'll be Group Gualinto. Okay? All right. We covered a lot of stuff today. Thank you all for your activity, your participation. Any other questions before we conclude today's section?
I have a question.
Yes, please, Melissa, go ahead.
Just to make sure, for the books, we have to go in person on Friday?
Yes, so Rosa and Natasha, they will organize their classes differently than mine, and this is important. This is, more flexibility, right? You guys have to adjust to different instructors and different styles. Yeah, as I understand it, Melissa, Natasha and Rosa are teaching their classes in person, okay, on Friday. So you can double check with them just to make sure, but that's what I understood. And they should be giving you the books for my class on Friday as well. I will be sending you a link to a copy of The House on Mango Street, just in case you have time or the interest to start reading the novel, okay? So yes, show up in person for Rosa and Natasha's class.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Other questions?
I actually have a question, Professor.
Yes, go for it.
You know how on the orientation, the videos that we have a librarian.
Yes.
By any chance, she was saying like about the books and stuff. Do we have can we actually see if the books are in the library?
No, I'm sure you could see if the library has copies. I bet the library has copies of The House on Mango Street because it is such a popular book.
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely they'll have George Washington Gomez, okay? That's more of a unique book, a little lesser known. You can always check, but remember, you guys are getting copies for free, okay? So they'll hand those to you on Friday. You don't have to purchase them or do any other work besides coming to class. So, yeah. Okay, great. Other questions?
Professor, so when we show up to your class, like what are the tools that we're gonna need? The book, a notebook? That's it?
If you have a computer or a phone that you'll use, whatever you're going to use to do the online work for my class, bring it to class, okay? Because I want you guys to do work while I'm here. So if there's something you get stuck with, I can help you with it. That's the great thing about this synchronous, meetings that we'll be having that I didn't get to have with students last year, right? So please bring, certainly, like you said, the books. If you're like me and you like to write by hand, if that helps you get ideas going, then, bring your notebook. But if you've got a laptop, right, or you use your phone to do your work, or a tablet, bring that in, okay? Whatever you need to do work for our online class, bring it in.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, of course. And of course, you guys will need a mask and a wristband, right? And if you forget about that, you're not allowed to be in the class. You can go get that taken care of at a kiosk right outside. Oh, hey, really quick, I didn't even think about this until now. Do you guys know where the liberal arts building is? Because that's where our class is. It's on the second floor of liberal arts. Alejandro, go for it.
Professor, you mentioned a wristband. You think you could tell me about that?
Yeah, so if you go to the Cerritos College homepage, they'll have more information about it. Let's see, where do we have? I think on our website, I have information too. Let's go to our homepage for now. Let's see if there's anything there. Okay, so it says a note for campus class meetings, online health questionnaire. Select that. Let's see where that takes us to. All right, good. This takes us to an information page for Cerritos College, okay? This is the required screening. Does it say anything about masks here? Clearance, there you go, mask up. And wristbands, here we go. Step 4 is the wristband. Visit the health screening kiosk. There's a hyperlink here, so I'm assuming you get to learn more information about that. Now they say the health screening kiosk as if there's only one. I'm on campus right now, obviously. They're all over the place. They're basically a canopy or a tent, and there's probably about 3 or 4 individuals wearing polo shirts in them. And they're there distributing wristbands to students who want to go to class, okay? So Alejandro, go to our homepage. If you get lost or if you forget about it, select that hyperlink for the online questionnaire and check out these steps. They'll explain all you need to know.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
Yeah, of course. Now, the question I was asking was if you know where the liberal arts building is. Raise your hand or give me a thumbs up if you know where the liberal arts building is. Stephanie, you're good. Okay, Tyra, good. All right, a few of you do. Alejandro's no, and I'm sure more of you are too. Okay, so there is a map. Let's see if it's on the quick links. Okay, so from the campus homepage, you can see the top menu. It says quick links. Go down to the bottom. It says campus map. All right. Let's see. So that is the physical science building, but let's see if we go down a little bit further. Okay. What I would recommend is that you check out the PDF of the campus map. Okay. And that'll guide you to where you need to be on campus. The liberal arts building is at the corner of Alondra and Studebaker. Okay, so we're the brand new building. It actually looks very similar to this building here, to the physical sciences building. Okay, a lot of glass and metal. Okay, and bland gray colors. You know, chic modern style. Anyway, so the liberal arts building looks very similar, except it's on the corner of Alondra and Studebaker. Okay, pull out the campus map, the PDF. That should help out. I'll try to see if there's a better map that might help you. But you get there from the quick links guide, okay, which is on our homepage. You can see right down there at the bottom, campus map. Okay,
Professor,
yes.
and if you also go on Google Maps and you zoom in to what you said, Alondra and Studebaker,
Huh?
it gives you a description of the liberal arts, the multi-purpose,
Awesome.
on Google Maps. Yeah.
Perfect. Good. So Google Maps, so we've got your resource within our website and our community and outside of it. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know it was on Google Maps. Okay. All right, everyone. I'm sorry. I've got to wrap up our meeting for today right now. So 3 things that I would like you all to, work on for today and that you got to prioritize for this week: the syllabus quiz, the discussion board, and that hybrid learner survey. Please fill out, especially that last question, so we know how to schedule Iliana for tutoring, okay? If you have any other questions that I didn't get to, that I don't have time for right now, please email me, okay? I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. I look forward to meeting with some of you next week. Yeah, working with you all for this whole semester. Thank you for making this first day a success. All right. I'll catch you all later. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, Professor. Have a good day.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Have a good day.
Yes, thank you. Iliana, we'll be in contact. I'll let you know as soon as the results are in from the students. Yeah, we'll figure out from there what to do. Okay, schedule wise.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for showing up. And we'll do the same thing on Thursday. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.